أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله محمد بن عبد الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبع بلسان الأمدين. إخوتي الأفاضل السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward each and every one of us. I would advise Uncle, everyone please, if we can have our seats. Jazakumullah khairan. Welcome everyone to the North BRIXTON Islamic Cultural Center. This is your center and you're all welcome. Today, as I've mentioned earlier, that we have a health project and some brothers and sisters are running late, but inshallah they will join us as they come. Bi-idhnillah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And without further delay, what I will do inshallah recite just a few ayats from the Quran to start with this jilsa, and then thereafter I will call on Sheikh Faisal Boadi to say a few words, and then our chairman to say welcome notes. Can I say short words actually? Few words to our delegates, or let's say our guests actually. Today, inshallah, I will start with the Quran as I said earlier on, then call the Sheikh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وورث سليمان داود وقال يا أيها الناس علمنا منطق الطير وأوتينا من كل شيء إن هذا لهو الفضل المبين وحشر لسليمان جنوده من الجن والإنس والطير فهم يوزعون حتى إذا أتوا على واد النمل قالت نملة يا أيها النمل ادخلوا مساكنكم لا يحتمنكم سليمان وجنوده وهم لا يشعرون فتبسم ضاحكا من قولها وقال رب أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي وأن أعمل صالحا ترضاه وأدخلني برحمتك في عبادك الصالحين وتفقد الطير فقال ما لي لا أرى الهدهد أم كان من الغائبين لو عذبنه عذابا شديدا أو لأذبحنه أو ليأتيني بسلطان مبين فمكث غير بعيد فقال أحطت بما لم تحط به وجئتك من سبأ بنبأ يقين إني وجدت امرأة تملكهم وأوتيت من كل شيء ولها عرش عظيم. Brothers and sisters, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our ibadah. Without much ado, I will call on Sheikh Faisal Boadi to say a few words inshallah, and then we'll take it from there for the Sheikh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mashallah, alhamdulillah, you thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you are still alive after this time. You are very fortunate. Alhamdulillah. You welcome all the brothers and sisters, and especially our dear students who wants to share this beautiful knowledge with us. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had said, أحب الناس إلى الله أنفعهم للناس. The most beloved people to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are those who are beneficial to mankind. So you can see our brothers, they came, and their sisters to help us about how to our health and so on and so forth, inshallah. And therefore, I welcome all of them, and I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase them in their knowledge and benefit them both this world and the hereafter. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
MashaAllah, may Allah reward the Sheikh for narrating this beautiful hadith. Before I go to our wonderful guests here tonight, I would like my humble chairman to say a word, actually. He said to me, no, I'm not coming, I'm not saying it. I said to him, no way, I'm the boss here. You're going to obey me. MashaAllah, Fadl Sheikh.
Well, I will accept what the boss says. Brothers and sisters, I say Assalamu alaikum to every one of you here this evening, especially to our young and good-looking future doctors in Islam. May Allah bless you all. I welcome you in the name of this masjid, the North Bristol Islamic Cultural Center. May Allah bless you for coming here. And I hope what we have here today will be of beneficial for us till the end of the day. Welcome. Thank you. May God bless you. Assalamu alaikum.
MashaAllah, actually he's the youngest man here. Yeah, I'm older than him like for 60 years, 70, right?
Yes, yeah.
Thank you, I love that. Oh, a brother of Mugabe. I love that. MashaAllah. Brothers and sisters, we have our humble, respectable guests. And of course, you are in your center. This center is this humble Brother Elmi Center. And your center as well. And this is not the first program we've been running here with the UCL and also as well the medical team with the leadership of our humble brother here. Very, very active brother. We love him for the sake of Allah. MashaAllah. He smiles all the time. MashaAllah. You see, I tell you. And MashaAllah, his family, they have huge input as well in the progress of this community. So as you can see, smiley faces, I must warn you, not to tell me or warn me not to eat food. Rice, sorry. Because as you finish, I will just go and cook the rice for you. Whatever you're going to tell me, don't eat, that's what I'm going to cook for you now. Okay then, keep smiling. So without much ado, I will pass the mic on to you now, inshallah, and you start it from there. Welcome, you're welcome.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First of all, we'd like to say Jazakallahu khairan for the very warm welcome. I'm sure my colleagues will all agree we feel very welcome here, and we're humbled by your allowing us to come here to carry out this project today. So first of all, we're from RUM's ISLAMIC outreach. So RUM is University College London Medical School, and we're from the Islamic Society of the Medical School. We're from the outreach department, so I'm just going to introduce a few of the people here today. So first of all, we have Mariam Ashraf, who is the lead for this project. So a lot of hard work has gone into this project, and a lot of it has been down to Mariam, so alhamdulillah, so jazakallahu khairan for that, Mariam. We have Rawan here, who is in charge of one of our other projects. So last year you had the basic life support session, so Rawan is now in charge of that project for this year. And as the Sheikh said, we have Abdul Almi, who is a fourth year medical student. We have Tasneem here, who is our head sister. Myself, I'm Tahira. And then at the back we have Rashad and Huzaifa, who are our second year medical students. We also have a final year medical student coming in later on. Her name is Zainab Ghafoor. She will be sitting her exams in March to qualify and become an official graduate doctor, so inshallah she'll be coming on later on. So to outline what we'll be covering today, so we have a few presentations for you guys. The first one we'll be covering is healthy eating, followed by exercise and common diseases within the community. We'll then be covering blood pressure checks and also glucose checks. And I'd like to share with you why we thought this project was important for us to launch. So one shocking statistic is that 1 in 10 deaths in England and Wales are caused by obesity, and obesity is something that can be avoided with the correct lifestyle techniques. So inshallah, we're hoping to educate you about these today. So if you see the next statistic on the slide, it says that an unhealthy lifestyle can knock 23 years off your lifespan. So if you were 80 years old and you had an unhealthy lifespan, if you were predicted to pass away at 80 years old, that would be reduced by 23 years if you have an unhealthy lifestyle. So inshallah, we want to address issues and habits that can lead to unhealthy lifestyles and contribute to early deaths. So to begin, we're going to start with a small introductory pop quiz. So if you'd like to pop your hands to attempt to answer, that would be great. So the first one is, does anyone know what the recommended weekly amount of physical activity for adults is? You can just put your hand up or shout out the answer. Anyone? No idea? Sorry? 3 times a week. Okay, so how long do you think each of those sessions should be, those 3 times a week? How long each time? Okay. So it's recommended that adults do 150 minutes of activity a week. So if you were doing it 3 times a week, that would be 50 minutes of activity each week, and that's moderate activity. So we're going to be covering what moderate activity, what vigorous activity is in our exercise presentation. Okay, so who can tell me what the recommended calorie intake for males and females is? Anyone know?
Go on, don't be shy, come on.
Does anybody want to have a go?
You guys sound right. Say it.
2,100? Yeah, so do you think it's the same for men and women? So what do you think it's for men and what do you think it's for women?
Men is higher and women is lower.
Okay, so I'm going to throw a number at you, 3,000 for men. Do you think that's too high or too low? Too low? Okay.
Don't tell us we have a high tempo, yeah?
Okay, how about 3,000 for women?
Too high.
It's too high? Okay, so what do you think it is for women? For women, okay. So the correct answer is actually 2,000 for women and 2,500 for men. So you are right that 2,000 is too low, but 3,000 is too high for men. Okay, so does anyone know how many calories are in one slice of pizza? Like, so you have like your Domino's margarita pizza or like your Pizza Hut, one slice of margarita pizza. How many calories do you think that is?
80.
Sorry?
80.
80 for one slice. 88.
8. 8 on.
No, 8 calories. No. 50. We have 50. Do you have any takers on 50? Anything more? Rashad, do you want to have a go?
70.
Okay, so your average slice of pizza actually contains 289 calories. One slice. One slice contains 289 calories. So if you remember, the previous question was what is the recommended calorie intake for males and females? 289 calories in one slice of pizza.
Wow.
So
Size like my
And we
no,
have,
like a regular small slice.
and if you think about how many we have of those when we buy a pizza, we have like 2 or 3.
So I think it's about a 6 if you cut into 6 pieces. Yeah, 289. So that's almost 300 calories for one pizza. One slice of pizza. Okay, who can tell me? Can anyone tell me what some of the essential vitamins that we need in our diet? Yeah.
C and D.
Vitamin C and D. Okay. Anything else?
B.
Okay, so vitamins A, B, C, D, E, and K are the key vitamins. There are also other minerals, but we'll be covering these in our presentations, inshallah. And the final question, how many adults in the UK are classified as obese?
You mean the
90%, okay. In the UK, okay.
She has to start from the children.
70%.
70%.
So,
Yeah, I have to start from the children first.
75%. Okay, it's actually 24.8% of people in the UK.
wow.
So that's actually quite a lot. That's actually 1 in 4 people. 1 in 4 people. So if we have 1 row of people, 1 person would be classified as obese in every row. Okay, so I think we're going to move on now, inshallah. So we're going to start off with the healthy eating presentation.
Sorry.
We're just experiencing a technical glitch.
Do I leave the light on or?
Yeah, it's fine.
Is it okay?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, everybody. I'm Maryam. And today, Rowan and I are going to start off with the first presentation, which is talking about healthy eating and like a balanced lifestyle. What?
Is it okay like that?
Yeah. Yeah, if you can all see. And so yeah, we're going to talk about how to just make your diet more balanced and healthier. And we should have a few interactive activities throughout the presentation, hopefully.
Yeah, so we'll just start with the Quran verse. It says, O mankind, eat from whatever is on earth that is lawful and good.
Just a brief overview of what we'll be covering. So first we'll start off with a balanced diet. So you hear balanced diet a lot, but what does that actually mean? Like how much of each food are we actually meant to be eating? Then secondly, balanced diet doesn't just mean food, actually a lot of it is drink. So you'd be surprised by how much sugar some drinks have and how we can actually cut down a lot of on sugar and just make ourselves healthier by reducing the amount of certain drinks that we have. Then we'll go on to portion sizes. So what actually, how much should we be eating? So should it be a handful? Should it be 2 handfuls? That kind of thing. Exercise, we'll briefly talk about exercise, but there'll be another presentation that will go more into depth with it. And then finally, we'll end on where you guys can find out more information. Inshallah, this presentation will give you just a brief overview and an idea. But if you want more details, then we'll give you a list of where you can find them. And then, not now, but at the end of the entire session, Zainab, inshallah, the medical student who's almost a doctor, will be answering any questions that you all have.
Okay, so let's start with the first part of a balanced diet. So you've all heard of having your 5 fruit and veg a day. Can anyone honestly say that they have the recommended 5 fruit or veg a day? MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Yeah, so according to a recent survey as well, 28% of women in the UK have the recommended 5 fruit or veg a day, and only 25% of men. And so although the sisters are doing better, I think there's still room for improvement for everyone to kind of get the 5 fruit and veg a day, and it's actually really easy to implement into your diet. So one portion could be an apple, a slice of melon, a banana, 3 heaped tablespoons of vegetable with your lunch. So it's really easy to implement, and it's so important to have it in your diet, as it's known to lower risk of stroke, heart disease and cancer. So fruit and veg contain a lot of vitamins and minerals, which we'll go into more detail later. But I think this is definitely one of the easiest ways to make your diet a lot healthier and a lot more balanced.
So the one we're all scared for, starchy foods like rice and pasta. So I'm not going to tell you to stop eating rice, don't worry. But what I will say is that things like pasta, rice, bread, these are they're known as complex carbohydrates, and that they should make up about a third of what we eat, so quite a big amount of our diet. And the reason for that is because they have a lot of fiber, so they keep you full for a long time. They release energy slowly, so you won't, when you have, say, a plate of rice or a plate of pasta, you stay full for a longer time and you will eat less. And it includes things, like I said, like potatoes as well. But some tips in terms of carbohydrates: we shouldn't eat too much of it. As we know, everything, especially in Islam, everything in moderation, and it's the same with starches. So I can say myself, from where I'm from as well, I eat a lot of rice, a lot of carbohydrates, but the best way to eat these things is not only in just moderation, but try buying, say, brown rice, for example, so swapping white rice for brown rice, or getting brown pasta or whole wheat pasta, and also whole grain bread, because these are generally better for you. They contain more fiber, they contain less salt, and that way you can still have what you enjoy, but just less of it. And lastly, with things like potatoes, it's very easy, I'm sure, that we want to fry the potatoes, have chips, but it's better for us if we boil them or we steam them, and that doesn't mean we have to compromise on flavour. We can still put flavour into it, but it just makes it healthier for us.
Do we have brown pasta? Brown pasta?
Yeah. So you can get whole grain pasta, and yeah, that's generally it takes longer to cook than normal pasta, but it's better for you.
And so now moving on to fats, I'm sure you all know what they are. Does anyone know the two different types of fats? No? So you have saturated fats and, sorry? Yeah, that's right, yeah. So saturated fats tend to be in meats, butter, cream, biscuits, cakes. And so by the sounds like you kind of know that you should probably not overconsume them. And then you have unsaturated fats, which are found in olive oil, avocados, Brazil nuts, peanuts, and they tend to be better for you and help to lower your cholesterol. And yeah, so there are actually benefits of fats. So you should actually implement them into your diet, and they should make up around a fifth of your diet. And they're a source of essential fatty acids, such as omega-3, and they also help to absorb vitamins A, D, and E, sorry. And we'll go into more detail about the benefits of vitamins later on in this presentation. And so some easy ways to lower the amount of saturated fats in your diet is to swap saturated fats for unsaturated fats. So for example, instead of using sunflower oil for cooking, you can use olive oil, rapeseed oil. These have unsaturated fats and are better for your health. And you can also use reduced fat options. So I know on a lot of packaging now, on a lot of foods that you buy, there are reduced fat options, and so it would definitely be great if you guys could switch to those. Yeah.
And the next one, protein. So protein is our meat, our chicken, all of that. And for protein, again, we should be having about a fifth of our diet, so less than the carbohydrates, but still quite a big part. And it's important for growth and repair. That's why people who go to the gym, they have a lot of protein, because it helps grow their muscles. And you can find it in things like meat, fish, eggs, chicken, but it's not just that. There are other sources of protein as well. I think a lot of us, when we hear protein, we automatically assume, okay, some beef, some lamb, but it's not always that. It can be things like cheese, it can be things like nuts and seeds, lentils, and so we should make use of those options, because those options actually contain less saturated fat than things like red meat. So some tips. So nuts are actually a good snack alternative because they are high on protein, and they're also high in fiber, so they help you to feel full for longer, but sometimes they can contain a lot of salt or a lot of saturated fat. So again, everything in moderation. Also, when you do buy meat from the butchers, try asking for lean cuts, so cuts that have less fat on it, less skin, or ask them to remove the fat and the skin. In chicken as well, ask them maybe to get rid of the skin. I know a lot of us are probably be like, that's going to get rid of the flavour, but you can always, add in more spices, more seasoning. We're all very good at that, so yeah. And last of all, not just meat and chicken, but we should try and have more fish, because fish actually contains very little saturated fat and is so good for us. So we should be having about 2 portions of fish a week. And unlike meat and chicken, there's so much range for fish. Like there's so many different fishes out there. You can pick whatever you want. There's so many different ones. Seafood, for example. But yeah, it's just a lot better for you. And also, there are some nutrients called the essential amino acids. And these are basically ones that your body cannot make itself. It has to get from outside.
What is it?
Sorry, essential fatty acids. My bad, fatty acids. They're basically a type of nutrient that your body cannot make itself. So you have to eat it from outside. And you get it. So, for example, omega-3 is a type of essential fatty acid. Your body can't make it, but it comes from fish, and that's why it's really important to have fish.
That's good.
Yeah.
We need to spend the money to buy fish.
Yeah, so now moving on to salt. We generally tend to overconsume on salt, and having too much can actually raise your blood pressure. I know salt does add flavour to your food, but a lot of the food that we buy tends to already have quite a high salt content in it. So if you see here, about 3/4 of the salt we eat is already in the food we buy. So it's really important that we monitor that consumption. And as a general guideline, just so it's an easy number to remember, if you see on the label it says 1.5 grams in the 100 grams, then it's too high. So just as a general guidance when you guys are shopping, it's just having numbers that you can easily remember. So we'll move on to the next.
Yeah. So I said we have a few interactive activities. So the first interactive activity we're going to do is just to test your, just to show you how much salt is in the foods that we have on a daily basis. Okay, so as Rowan said, we should aim to have no more than about 6 grams of salt a day. So on average in the UK, how much do you think adults are consuming? We're meant to have 6 grams. How many grams do you think we're actually having?
Times 7.
Times 7. No, we're actually having 8 grams. So 8 grams is still quite a lot compared to 6 grams. We do need to cut down, which is why you see a lot of reduced salt options and lower salt options that are coming out. So a high amount, as Rowan said, is 1.5 grams per 100 grams. But what is 100 grams? So to give you an idea of what 100 grams is, about, I would say, the weight of a stick of butter. So if you imagine a stick of butter, food that weighs that much, that's 100 grams. So high salt is 1.5 grams in that, and low salt is basically below 0.5. So I'm going to show you different foods. You recognise cheese, of course. We have cheese often. And in front of you, I've put on all your chairs 3 traffic lights. So obviously the green one if you think it's low in fat, the medium one if you think it's, it's not low, it's not high. Sorry, salt, not fat, salt. And the red one if you think it's high in salt. So for cheese, do you guys think it's low, medium, or high? Go on, put it up. Put raise your traffic.
You put red.
Raise your, yeah, if it's high, put red. If you think it's medium, put yellow. If you think it's low, put green. Yes, you are doing it. Raise your traffic light.
Yeah, so.
Okay, so the majority of us think it's red, yeah? We think it's high, and you guys are correct. It is high in fat. So per 100 grams, salt! My bad. So in 100 grams of cheddar cheese is about 1.8 grams of salt. We said that you're meant to have the high is 1.5 grams. So it is quite high in salt. The next one, please. Okay, this is a croissant pastry that you have for breakfast. What do we think?
It's sweet.
So red, yellow, or green, guys? What do you think?
No.
So majority of you saying yellow, medium, yeah? You guys are good, you are right. Okay, so there is 0.75 grams of salt in a croissant, so that is about medium. The next food, please. If you don't know what this is boiled chicken.
Huh?
Boiled chicken, do we think that is high, medium, low?
Boiled chicken. It's low.
No.
It's low.
I'll go for green because I go for green.
Green. Yes, it is green. It is low in fat.
It's low.
So, just a quick point. So, when you're frying chicken, when we fry chicken in things like butter, we put a lot of seasoning on it, and that can increase the salt content quite a lot. So to lower the salt content, boiling chicken is a really great way because you're not cooking it in butter, so that you're not adding any salt to it really. Unfortunately, you do have to work hard to get a bit more flavour, but what can you do? The next one.
What is that?
Okay, olives.
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 Naturally, it's not high
Olives
blood.
is good.
Yeah, but it's so
Yeah.
So,
Without salt.
yeah, you must so.
Without salt is green.
Okay. Sit down. Sit up.
Without salt is green.
So red is the correct answer. Now.
Why?
Is it salt?
No, it's salted or what?
Yeah.
The level of salt, yeah?
Yes, level of salt.
Okay.
So basically, the thing is olives like these that are in like a tin or they're like ready packaged. They usually end up putting them in very salty liquid, and so what happens is that the olives will absorb that salt. And so you just, so for example, this pack of olives in 100 grams contains 5 grams of salt. That's almost your entire intake.
Oh.
So tips for if you want to get olives is
The
try
original
buy
one is
fresh
good.
olives that are not in like salty water or
Yeah,
brine or anything like
that's
that.
good.
Or when you do, if you are going to get these, try and wash them, get rid of that excess salt, you know. But yeah, because you still want to have olives, but yeah, there can be a lot of salt in them. The next one. Okay. Baked beans.
What is that?
That's baked beans. Sorry.
Oh, beans. Beans has a lot of beans.
So do we think low,
No,
medium?
No, for me.
Medium.
You think both?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, medium.
Okay, so in actual fact,
It's
it's
medium.
0.6 grams. So it's basically medium, but it's
Yeah,
very close to
it's
being
medium.
low. So it's about medium low.
So it's still medium.
And actually recently, okay, not recently, but in the last 5 years, baked beans used to have a really high salt content. So the UK, basically, like the Food Standards Agency, worked to reduce them. So a lot of baked beans actually have a lot less salt than they did, say, 10 years ago.
Oh.
But yeah, so medium to low. Okay. Right, pizza.
Pizza.
This is Domino's cheese and
Yeah.
tomato pizza. What do we
Pizza
think?
is dangerous.
No,
Pizza is red.
That one is high.
Pizza is red one.
What do you think?
No, pizza is red.
Okay, so we all think it's high, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, well in actual fact, it is orange. I know.
You like pizza. Pizza has so many
That doesn't mean
calories.
pizza is good. Remember we said 289 calories per slice. But yeah, there's only 1.1 grams of salt. I mean, that is still quite a lot, but it is below the high level, so it's about medium.
If we eat all,
Huh?
if
Yeah.
you eat
So
all,
that's per 100 grams. Sorry?
what's happening if the person eats all?
If you eat it all,
Yeah.
if you eat the entire pizza, then you will have basically 1.1 grams is 3 slices and 8 slices. So you're gonna have about almost your entire daily allowance.
It will be
Do you mean calories or salt?
The calories.
calories.
Calories. Oh, okay.
So one slice is nearly 300, and if you look at this picture, there are 8 slices.
No, that's fine.
Your entire
It will be high.
intake.
That will
Would
be
you like to
very
know how many calories in a whole
Yes,
pizza?
yeah,
So we
yeah.
said 289 calories per slice.
per slice.
A large pizza has 8 slices. That's a total of 2,300 calories. That's more than your. As for women, that's more than our allowance, and for men, that's almost our allowance. Okay, next one. Okay, potatoes, just plain potatoes. What do we think?
The plain potatoes will be, it will be medium.
But they're natural.
Yeah, natural.
Yeah.
That one, oh, the natural one will be medium.
Yes, it is green. Low. It's very low in salt.
Yeah. Oh, it's
So
medium. So,
things like potatoes, like boiled chicken, if you want to try and cut down on your salt, potatoes are a really good way of doing this. They have a very low salt content. Obviously, if you're adding on salt, you're going to increase it, but generally they are low in salt. Next one. Peanut. Yes.
peanut.
When you fry the potatoes,
Yes.
are they low?
Well, if you
Or when
okay,
you boil them, which one?
if you fry in say salted butter, it's going to have more salt. But frying in oil doesn't actually increase the salt content, but you are increasing the fat content. So you have a lot, but oils like sunflower oil, generally we fry our potatoes in sunflower oil, so we're increasing the saturated fat. So though it's not bad for you salt-wise, it becomes bad for you fat-wise. Yeah?
Do you have eggs?
And what about
Eggs.
if you?
They are
No,
coming up, yes.
no. The same thing about potatoes. What about if you steam it?
If you steam it, they're steaming it very low salt. It's a good way of cooking things, boiling and steaming.
All right.
Okay, salted peanuts. There's a clue in the
Oh,
name.
because you have already said salted, that's a dangerous.
Yeah, so it's about medium to high. So it's kind of, it's in the medium section, but it's going towards high. Yeah. Peanuts definitely have a moderation because they also contain a lot of fat.
Oh, some of them are very salty.
Yeah,
no?
but most peanuts are salted. If you have non-salted peanuts,
Yeah.
then it will be about medium.
Okay, yeah, that's better.
Medium to low. Next one. Woo! Tuna. Yeah.
What is that?
You stole my joke. Okay, what do you think?
What is that?
No?
What is
It's
that?
tuna.
Oh, tuna.
Should I have that tuna?
Yeah, you like it?
Oh, we have mixed results. Okay.
What? Tuna? No, tuna is good. Tuna
So
is
green.
low.
If you put green, you are right. But
Medium.
there is a big but.
Medium.
If you buy tuna in brine is salty water, then it's going to have quite a high salt content. So if you do buy tuna in brine, make sure you wash the tuna before eating it, or try buy tuna that's like that doesn't have any liquid inside it, or buy tuna in oil, and that way it will have less salt. But if you are trying to cut down your salt, eating tuna is a really good food to have. Okay, tuna pasta bake from Tesco.
What's the difference?
What do we think?
Tuna what?
Tuna pasta bake.
I haven't heard that one before.
Okay, how about, let's take it as like a ready meal from Tesco. What do you think?
I don't know that one. I haven't.
It is high, very high. So, okay, so in this so you're meant to have a low amount of salt in 100 grams, we said was about 0.4 grams. This contains 2.2 grams. So that's about a third of what you're meant to have a day. Just that one meal, and that's for one person. That's a third. Yeah. So in terms of ready meals, the ready meals from the supermarket, they can contain a lot of salt. So make sure you check the labels. As you can see, like they have these colored labels here. If you see red on the salt, try avoid it. Go for ones that have the medium bar or have the low bar, because ready meals especially, they can contain loads of salt. Okay, next one. Your favorite, eggs.
You can fry them all the time.
What do we think?
Medium.
Medium, high.
No.
Okay.
No, the good ones.
Yes. So if you put green, you are right. Eggs.
Artificial ones are high.
Yeah. But in order to have, so when you fry eggs, you're increasing the fat content again. But okay, like we said, in moderation, having it occasionally is okay. But eggs, try boiling them as a better way, or poaching them. But yeah, like I said about boiled chicken and tuna, if you're trying to cut down your salt, eggs are a really good thing to have. We've got a few more, guys.
Are you talking about the natural one? Are you talking about the natural one?
What do you mean?
Or the artificial one?
One at a time.
MashaAllah.
Red.
Okay.
Okay.
Hold on. Sheikh is asking a question.
Yeah.
I'm asking a question. You know, the homemade ones,
Yeah.
the chicken that you rear from the house, the egg is different from the one that you buy in the supermarkets.
That's an organic thing.
So you mean ones from your home?
Yeah. You know, if you look at the yolk itself, it's quite different.
Yeah. So in terms of whether it's from home or supermarket, it doesn't change the salt. So generally, eggs are just low in salt itself.
Okay.
They might be better quality, but the salt doesn't really change. Okay, so ketchup. What do we think?
Ketchup. If you catch it,
Come on.
it
red,
will take you up.
Get them up, guys. Red, yellow, green.
It will take you up. The ketchup all the time goes up.
Yes, if you put red,
No,
you're right.
ketchup is up.
So per 100 grams, ketchup contains 1.8 grams of salt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be careful when you make our salad here, yeah?
No, they don't put this one. The mayonnaise. Salad.
Alright. Bread. White bread.
White bread.
Salt level in white bread.
Brown bread. Brown. Yeah, it's brown.
It's meal.
Yeah.
Kids meal.
Let your paper speak.
So what are we saying? You think red? You think high?
No, medium. Medium.
White bread is high.
Okay.
No, it's medium.
The answer is medium.
Yeah. Medium, medium.
But okay, so automatically we all think brown bread is better for us, yeah?
Let's check.
You think brown bread? Actually, if you look at a lot of the labels of brown bread and white bread, they actually contain the same amount of salt. So when you are trying to buy, it's not always automatically brown bread is better for you. It's things like wholemeal or whole grain or seeded. Those are the ones that are better for you. Just because it's brown doesn't mean it is, because sometimes they contain the same amount of salt. So when you are buying bread in the supermarket and you're trying to buy brown bread or you're buying white bread, check the labels and don't always assume that just because it's brown, it's better for you. So you should go for, like I said, whole grain, wholemeal. These things contain lower salt. Okay. Cornflakes.
Cornflakes, no. It's medium.
Cornflakes, what do we think?
Medium.
Yes.
Complex. But you need to eat the children.
You have cornflakes there. When you finish, you can take some.
Let me see your traffic lights. What do we think?
It's yellow.
Yellow one.
Yes, it is yellow. It's medium.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. But, yeah. All right, next one. This is spinach.
Oh, that's the
No,
best
that's
one.
green.
Oh, that's green. Because
That's
it is
absolutely green.
Because spinach is green, so it has to be green.
You are all correct.
Yeah, mashallah.
It is low in salt. And if
Anyway,
you
tap
again,
your
so this is
fast.
like
Mashallah.
boiled chicken and eggs. If you want to cut down your salt, spinach is a really good thing to have. Extremely low in salt. Okay, next one. We've got like three left. Digestive biscuits. What do you think?
Hey, this one. No, this one is high.
high.
That one is high. Yeah.
High.
Which one?
So it's medium, but it's bordering on high.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
digestives especially, they contain a lot of salt because they contain a lot of butter, and the
Yes.
butter they use is salted butter,
Yes.
so that's why it contains a lot of salt. Next one.
Oh.
Cheese onion.
Walkers. Come this side. Walkers.
Okay, so in actual fact, it is orange. It's not high. It's not very medium.
It's not high?
It's not
Walkers.
low. I mean, it's bordering high. It's actually medium, but it is bordering high, which is why you're only meant to have one packet. Obviously, if you have more than that, then it contains a lot of salt. It contains about 1.23 grams.
Because
Okay, and the
if
last
you do
one,
it, it
so
won't
difficult.
go
Can you guess? What do we think? Fruit.
What is that?
How much
Oh,
salt?
that's the green one. This one is green. It's a natural one. This one has everything.
Okay. The one thing you can rely on is that most fruit actually contains 0.1 grams, less than that. So this contains mostly no salt, almost no salt. So this is green, low in salt.
It has
Extremely
everything.
low in salt.
It has everything by
Right, so that's
itself.
all of the fruits. Thank you, you guys are actually very good. Oh yeah, of course.
Is there any soup that is good for you?
Any?
Soup that is good for you?
I mean, we have to have a bit of salt every day. So we're meant to have, the allowance for adults is about 6 grams a day. So about 1 teaspoon worth. So as long as you're not going above that or eating, too much with salt, then it's fine. You don't need to cut out salt. You just need to make sure you have lower, because high salt can increase blood pressure, increase likelihood of problems with the heart, and that's why just high salt is not a good idea.
What actually meant the type of salt?
Type of salt, well, sea salt is generally
sea salt.
best. So try
Sea
to
salt
avoid
is good.
maybe table salt and things like
Yes.
that. Go for sea salt
Yeah,
because
sea salt
it's
is better.
natural. Yeah, those are always better for you, of course, but yeah. As long as you're just controlling the amount is what matters.
As long as you don't put a lot when you do a barbecue.
Sorry? Maggi. Maggi, so like stock cubes, the cubes, they contain a lot of salt, tons of salt. Because if you think about it, it's that small block, and it's very concentrated. It contains a lot of salt in it. But if you're putting it in and you have like a lot of water on top, then it dilutes it down, so it's not too bad. But we should use not as much Maggi. Cut down the Maggi. I know Maggi gives flavour. What can we do? Yeah, if you're not putting extra salt in, then it's okay. But make sure you check the label. See how much is in there.
Where's the pepper? Yeah, no, pepper is for the same for you.
No, pepper is good.
Pepper's good for you. Pepper's very good.
Pepper is good.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it me?
What is the asking question? Bistro? Say bistro.
It's the same, it's also a flavour that
Yeah, I would recommend, you see these, you know when I gave you guys these, this is because this is what is actually on food. So a lot of foods at the bottom, oh okay, it's gone, but at the bottom they will have, they'll have fat listed, sugar listed, salt listed, and it will be, if it's low, it will have green. If it's medium, it will have yellow. If it's high, it will have red. Check these things before you buy it. And then yeah, that's this. All right. So Rowan mentioned about how foods have, vitamins and minerals in them. This is basically a list of the different vitamins and the minerals that we need and where you can find them. So, for example, vitamin A, you can find it in things like fish oil, liver, leafy green vegetables. Vitamin D, okay, so vitamin D you can find in tuna, salmon, mackerel, cheese, egg yolk. But who can tell me what's our main source of vitamin D? The sun, exactly. So try and spend time in sun. Obviously not too much, because again, everything in moderation. The sun can be very dangerous.
Yeah, there is no sun here, sister. Let's go to Saudi Arabia. Yeah.
But as you can see from this list, a lot of these vitamins are found in fish. So that's why I'm saying you should try and eat a lot more fish. Try and have it, 2-3 times a week, because not only are you getting lower fat,